Hey, Ted. Meet our Abbey. Can you imagine Global Ted, the best thing on the internet, brainchild of our very own Chris Anderson, coming to our local Bath Abbey, where my dad used to volunteer in one of those blue surplices. He died 13 years ago today. His memorial service was in here. I can still hear Eternal Father, Strong to Save, blasting out on that massive organ up there. My mum sponsored one of those angels up in the choir stalls. When I look at the walls of the Abbey, I basically see LinkedIn and Facebook. You know, square, screen-shaped pages of self-serving hype that our ancestors and forebears wrote about themselves. What I want to do today is I want us to think globally, but to act locally. I want to draw together the online and the offline, because at that crossroads, I think we could possibly actually do something useful. Do you know what? When I think of Facebook and LinkedIn, they're just as bad as the Abbey. There's no foundation of trust at all. You're going to have to dig the whole thing up. Immense time and effort and expense, and involving vast numbers of dead bodies. Because when I think of our online lives, there's really no foundation of trust at all in what we do online. It's all driven by global monopolies who buy up or kill off any competitors. They don't pay any taxes, so that starves our public services of funds. It's not secure. There's the personal agony of individual doxing, but globally, data breaches happen on a colossal and industrial scale. All of our data has been leaked time and time again. Terms and conditions. Every time we click to say, I agree, I read the terms and conditions, we tell a lie. Okay, so our online lives are based on hundreds of lives, and the whole edifice of our online existence and economy is built on hundreds of billions of lies. The business model for all of this is a sort of sinister surveillance capitalism. People say, you know, computers deal in the precise meaning of words. The reality now is that our lives are governed with dehumanizing and degrading treatment by rules, by algorithms that we never get to see and we never get to understand. And they operate on a sort of toxic soup of data gathered by Orwellian methods, which just is mostly wrong or irrelevant. So there's an awful lot to fix about our foundations in online lives. Now, I'm confident that we'll fix the Abbey. I'm sure they'll raise the £20 million. We can fix the Abbey, just like we fixed a bunch of other institutions in Bath when they've been in jeopardy or in peril. The Bell Inn in Walcott Street came up for sale. It was going to be a gastro pub or something. There was a campaign. 530 shareholders now own the pub. We all got tax relief on the investment. We're getting 5% interest a year now, and it's building up reserves. So that's a secure success story. When Bath City FC was falling badly into debt, there was a wonderful campaign led by Ken Loach. It's now, again, in community ownership. It's doing far more for its community than it ever did. It's not doing badly on the pitch either. I think that the Comedia, Comedia Bath, will also go into community benefit ownership. I think it'll have a new name, I think it'll have a new board, and a new local purpose. The one I'd really like to draw your attention to today is the Fairfield House, the house of His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I, which he gifted to the people of Bath in gratitude. Now, as we stand here in this abbey, how can I convey the idea that Fairfield House is really, really important? Well, imagine you are a war refugee, a messiah, perhaps, and you come to Bath in a time of dire need, and you need to live somewhere with your family. You probably wouldn't pick the Abbey. It's a bit chilly. There's only one loo, and that's reserved for the verger. But when the glorious Lion of Judah came to Bath in 1938, he chose to live at 2 Kelston Road in Fairfield House. Now that means if you are Rastafari, your Messiah lived in this city for 6 years. If you are of the Ethiopian diaspora, your emperor the head of your Christian Orthodox Church, a direct descendant of Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, lived here, and that legacy is here for us. If, like me and most of us who are speaking and listening today, you're part of Bath's white Anglo-Saxon culture, this is an incredible gift. This means we can think of ourselves as a community that welcomed the stranger, as Jonathan Sacks said. It's a completely different narrative from what you read on these walls of Bath Abbey about people who went to the Caribbean for quite different reasons. We welcomed the stranger, he recovered his fortunes, and he gave far more back to our community, to our society, than he ever took. So, I'm sure we can rescue the Abbey, I'm sure we can polish up some of these stones with their dubious references, but it's absolutely vital that we should rescue and save Fairfield House. Now, these successes that I touched on, the small but significant co-ops that we've rescued, they were all plotted in the pub, but they were all actually executed online. In each case, building the community, reaching out to people, telling the story, running the campaign, getting the pledges of money, actually converting the pledges of money into purchases of community shares. All of that happened online. So you can make online work for you locally. It's very, very hard to fix the scale of our global online problems. I could introduce you to dozens of entrepreneurs who've tilted at that windmill and tried, and they're bruised or crushed by the experience. Said with feeling, because I count myself as one of them. The thing is, our generation, us here in Bath, we don't control Google and Amazon and Facebook. It's not our empire. We're the ones in bonded servitude this time, and it doesn't feel very good. In fact, it's not ideal at all. And at the heart of the problem is who is going to control our personal data, our information about ourselves. Is it going to be these big global monopolies and surveillance-obsessed governments, or can we do it ourselves? So here is an idea worth sharing. Let's cooperate locally to behave differently online. Now, it's an idea that we had at Tech for Good in Bath, which is a meetup, now 450 people. We pursued this idea through a couple of discussions at the St. John Foundation, a wonderful 900-year-old institution in Bath. We took it to the Bath Cooperative Alliance, which met a full-day meeting at the Friends Meeting House over the road, to progress the idea of Bath as an increasingly cooperative city. The thing about ideas like this is, when you talk about an idea like this, it becomes more than an idea. And thanks to two brilliant SMEs in Bath, they said, oh, we should do this, we should just do it. So with help from Jason and Kat and Aaron at My Life Digital, and also Deep Blue Sky, Jim and Jason, they're building a thing. We call it Bath Connect. So I should explain, this is not a commercial idea or venture. I mean, it could evolve into being a not-for-profit, I don't know. But think of it as an exercise in good manners, how we would like to behave locally as we liaise and link to organizations. That's essentially what it is. Now, you all know about these GDPR opt-outs you get online. You're allowed to see, oh, I don't want cookies, oh, I don't want emails. Do I want to have all my browsing history shared with your trusted partners? Let's see who our trusted partners are. Oh, it's a list of 260 organizations that I've never heard of. Maybe not, maybe not, maybe not, maybe not. So that's great, but that's like a legal right to start a fight which is completely unequal. With Bath Connect, what we're saying is, look, here is my name and my precious email address and my phone number and the things I'm interested in and the specialties I'm good at. You're an organization I like. You're an organization that I have some respect for. I'm willing to have a relationship with you. And I don't mind if you keep me in touch. I don't mind hearing about your events. If you've got discounts, maybe I'm interested. But more than that, I might volunteer. You know, I can drive, I could help in a shop, I can cook, or you might say, I might serve on a committee or a board if you want, or perhaps I've got a profession, I'm an accountant or a trade, and this could really help you. Or, you know, if you're issuing community shares or bonds, I might even invest. Or maybe I am a shareholder already, in which case I take an interest in the governance of your organization, and I'll vote in things. We're talking about a much deeper, more constructive relationship, and one in which you're in absolute control over what data you might share, and with whom, and for what purpose. So, we're going to put together this thing, Bath Connect. It'll be live and running next week, they tell me, and Creative Bath, a part of it. All the organizations I mentioned, Bath City and the Bell and the Supporters Society, Tech for Good, are all members and part of this. You can liaise with all of them through that. Also, the housing association Julian House, which does so much for the impoverished and homeless around Bath. If you use Bath Connect, just do promise that you will connect to Fairfield House and be a friend of Fairfield House. They do so much. Their care for the elderly is wonderful. They've got 6 months. They're on Facebook. They have no mailing list. They've got 6 months to get together a community, a support, resources, and a plan, and to save this heritage from the ownership of the council and preserve the legacy of His Imperial Majesty. So, there we are. TED is about ideas. As soon as you express ideas, people start to build them and make them real. There's a reason why people say think globally and act locally, because where those things meet, I think we can do something useful. Let's do it.